We are live, 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 live.
WKYA. I love that song, man.
This is for the radio. Welcome to BLTN Radio, music good for the soul. I'm your host, DJ BLTN, accompanied by the ever-exuberant Mr. Blue himself. This is indeed our very first podcast, so bear with us while we shoot the shit. Might get a little messy up in here. Double entendre time, you know. Alright, so on a journey of what is now a little over a year and a half old, we thought it'd be cool to do a bit of a lane switch, right? So taking a step back from all the mixing, all the music, all the jigga-jiggas, and the whoop-whoop. Tonight, we'll give you the Haagen-Dazs scoop of how this passion project came to be, the inception of BLTN Radio. So the initial concept of a music internet radio station came to me about, I would say 2018, which was originally going to be called Cimarron Radio. Glad I rethought that one out. At this point, I had like a Fisher-Price DJ controller that I picked up at Target for about the same money you would probably spend on Super Mario Bros. 3 back in 1990. Dating myself a little bit. When I first bought this thing, the only goal I had in mind was to put together a handful of mixes. Just the massive music collection I had. I wanted to basically play it back, enjoy the steady mixes, and maybe share it with people that I knew, see if they expressed interest in it, and you know, that's exactly what I did. Whenever I found time, I would rock out on it, just try to pace my timing and practice the blends. And the one thing I always knew I had going for me was the catalog, right? The collection. So I might as well have been called Dig Dug. I spent relentless hours of collecting music, digging in the middle of the night, exclusive edits of tracks, reinterpolations of things, even an entirely new track or artist on its own, right? I mean, nothing feels as good as finding new audio gems. It's a deep level that only audiophiles will understand. So let's backspin a bit. In comes Mr. Blue, right? So I've known Blue for a while, working in healthcare within their IT department underneath this fluffy-ass micromanaging turd back in 2008. Blue was on his way out by the time I got there, of course, but just before I left, he took notice of my iPod Classic. Yes, y'all, the Classic. Think about this time frame. We're talking 4th edition, high-capacity, crack screen. Yeah, all that good stuff. At any rate, on this particular iPod that I filled to the brim, mind you, I mean turkey stuffed. I had the 60 gig joint, and I was that dude who had to keep deleting music every week. Like, I just kept organizing my shit in playlists. And matter of fact, I was kind of cataloging as a DJ back then before I even knew what it was. I would play tracks for my friends, even as a teenager, and get a high from introducing them to unheard material. You know, a kid even wrote the words Tape Master J in my grade school yearbook. Shout out to Quinn, if you're still out there. But that's another podcast for another day. Getting back to my point, the common gold-plated thread that linked Blue and myself together from day one was the music. And not just the music, the non-formulaic, eclectic, obscure collection of music that we both had and cherished. On the flip side, we also shared a passion to hate. The run-of-the-mill sound providers, whenever we went out to shows, whenever you turn on the radio, whenever you just whatever, you just sit and realize there must be a niche. There must be a collective of boppers out there, right? An eagerness to get an ear full of good music. Music good for the soul. Now, Mr. Blue had been DJing for some years at this point, already had a style that he was kind of developing, and, you know, at the time he went by Black Rhino. Shout out Black Rhino. He would be the one who inspired me to get outside my comfort zone, is incorporating sound drops into my own sound. Where we may differ in styles, we always call it the Ken and Ryu, right? It's like a saying we always had to describe what we were.
Audio.
Very similar, yet very different. All right, that's enough of my stuff. So what say you, sir? That was the intro.
Well, what say I? Well, I mean, you pretty much covered all the bases. And we met over there at that job. Noticed you had the iPod, just like me, had the same kind of iPod, same kind of taste for music. I found that we had a lot of similar genres that we appreciated, so that definitely made it easy to see and recognize that you had the kind of similar ear that I do. So from there, it was like off to the races pretty much.
That's the inception, brother.
Audio inception, y'all.
All right, so now shameless plug time coming up. So fun fact, BLTNRADIO.com, in addition to the live player at the top, you can find a chat box at the bottom to interact directly with us when we go live. Not just on BLTNRADIO.com, but twitch.tv, of course, /BLTNRadio. There's also a listing of live shows we've recorded since day one. Different, refreshing themed music series, artist showcase, tributes, all free 99. Of course, yes, yes. But of course, we got to talk about some honorable mentions, right? Like I said before in the onset, I mean, I'm a music addict fanatic. Let's just be real to the core. I think Blue shares the same passion. That's why we collaborate. That's why he's my brother. Some of my absolute favorites, though, if I had to add that short list of it, I would say any of the funky jazzy soul music series. For me, it's really inspired by Giles Peterson over at BBC Radio. Shout out Giles Peterson forever. Rock Before the Cradle. That was a special set that I did August 4th, 2021. I was waiting to do that for a long time. That's definitely one you want to check out. Hip-hop, always, always in my heart. Mr. Blue and myself have done several 90s Nuggets sets. Hell, there's even some Christmas mixes up there if you really dig, right? But house music is one of my favorites to spin. I'll tell you about one in particular that set it off in terms of a confidence builder. Deep House 4.0. That was made on 12/12/2019. That one right there, boy, that's when I realized I could really do this. So anyway, this is definitely worth a listen. You definitely want to go back and check those out. Blue's got a lot of stuff up there. Our man DJ ENS, Matt Stella, wherever you're at.
Hey, Stella.
Word. Stella, I mean, Blue, what you got? What you got? What's on your list? Your short list of honorable mentions.
So we got another DJ that be joining us, my man Rich Towns. You know, this is a new guy that we're gonna have up on the horizon. Gonna be broadcasting on the weekends. That's gonna come this fall, and the guy's got a similar ear. Like, you know, I feel like he complements our musical interests. So, what Blatant Radio, what we try to do is kind of curate a good audio experience where pretty much you're going to get like some different perspectives of some audio gems. So I think he adds to that and kind of flushes out the musical collection that we have here. I mean, you know, we have multiple DJs. I mean, so definitely a shout out to him. And basically a shout out to Blatant Radio, because this is an agenda. This is a musical movement that we're trying to push out there, you know, without getting too steeped into the message. We just want a break from the norm. You know, I don't know how many of you guys out there are into like the commercial radio. I mean, no knock on you if you are, but I'm pretty sure you've noticed that, like on the hour, you're looking for a certain artist, you can hear them 5 times a day in a very formulaic, robotic, void of creativity. Exactly. You know, we're here to break you out of that mold, basically. So we're going to keep getting guys together that are going to bring that musical audio message for you to really appreciate and grow from.
Musical prophets.
You know what I sing, man?
Where we're trying to have fun with it too. You know, I agree wholeheartedly with everything Blue said. It's like the onset, the vision was always, you know, we're tired of hearing pretty much what KRS's career is built on, you know, complaining about everything that's come out. Meanwhile, like, he was complaining back in 93, and like we thought all that shit was dope in 93. It's always fun to have a point of reference, right?
Oh, hell yes, it is.
Yeah, we go back in time a lot. Definitely like Doc and Marty. But at the same time...
Who's Doc, though? What are you saying?
But it's like, you know, it should be the balance between fun, knowing your stuff. We definitely know music. We appreciate the history, everything that inspires the artists that we're into, you know, the people that they looked up to, the connection between the different record labels, the samples that were used in hip hop. If you were one of those guys that bought albums like we did, you know, I was a geek. I used to flip the pages, look at certain names, you know, like a lot of sets you might have heard me narrate and DJ. You know, I'll drop government names, and I'm not Googling them on my phone. I have that in the back of my head, like Clifford Smith, Rethenband. Like I know that, you know, it's just sitting there, like useless information. You know,
Audio monster, man, audio monster. If you own it like that, then particularly, you know, that's the kind of attitude and passion towards music that we foster here at Blatant Radio. Definitely. I mean, you may not be steeped into it as we are, but you keep fucking with us long enough, you will. It'll rub off. It's contagious from an audio standpoint, of course.
Where we're not passing nothing else out there, you know what I mean? Vaccines are good, but the other stuff is not so good. Not so good, sir. Not so good. All good stuff though. Keep those ears waxed, as I always say. What else we got for them, Blue? Let's talk a little bit about some of your favorite sets. So you want to give the people a little nugget, a little something about some stuff you've done?
Well, see, I'm a passion guy. A lot of the times when these sets I put together, I really don't know what it is. It's a few days before the actual broadcast that I actually know what it's going to be. It's how I'm feeling. I'm a very emotional music guy. But as far as sets, this past one that I did, which was like a hodgepodge of different musical genres, but all like jazz, bossa nova. I don't know if you can call it R&B or acid jazz. It was just something different out of the bag, because usually a lot of the times when I do spin, right, it's something in the 90s track. I can't get out of that because I think that's where you get a lot of the quality stuff, in my opinion, A lot of the music that you hear right now is born from back in that decade, So I feel like I like that. And I'm also a big house head too. But this particular set I did last time was just, it was different. Not my usual. A lot of things that I personally listen to that, I wasn't sure how the public would receive. So to try to mix that, it's definitely a challenge, because it isn't anything that's standard, run of the mill you could just slap together. You really have to have a musical taste. I mean, I could get accused, it'd be an indictment on me out there because I was very niche in that set, but so be it. These are the things that resonated with me. So I was proud that I was able to put a lot of stuff together and kind of disseminate it to the public and have a positive reaction for. So definitely that just recently happened, and I was really proud of that.
Yeah, that was dope. Of course, I was in the house for that one. My Shazam was on steady. We have the Shazam ready on each of our sets, and I'm guilty of that a lot. Your man here plays a lot of exclusive stuff. A little older than me, so
what are you doing? Don't blow up my fucking age, bro. Young at
a little bit older than me. I probably got a little more whites on me, but he goes a little deeper than me. Pause. But when he gets into the 70s and even early 80s stuff, man, I definitely got my phone ready, and I think a lot of listeners do as well. As I said, not just me, but this man here is a great historian. He knows the stuff he spins. It's not just him looking something up, Shazamming it at a set, and then dropping it on his next set, particularly with that stuff, with the 70s and 80s and 90s. You see Blue in the street, you roll up to him, make sure you pick his brain. He's very knowledgeable, bit of a geek, but in a good way. And this guy,
I don't understand.
He knows.
What do you say?
Bit of a geek. We've had hours of discussions on some of the artists that we've played, some of the artists that we found. We're relatively young, so some of the stuff I'll even spin, is like when my father was a teenager. I mean, I don't know that stuff. I wasn't there, right? But when music is timeless, it's got a common thread, and it doesn't matter when you're going to play it, right? From my perspective, what defines timeless stuff in my head is when you've got obviously a great songwriter backing not just lyrics, but the vocal arrangement. So not just lyrics, but the arrangement itself, a good producer behind it that knows how to put the pieces together. I'm talking traditional music, old school music before hip hop, and then it's got a little bit of catchiness to it, it's just enough of it, not where it's like a jingle, hey, but it's actually good resonating stuff. So it's lyrics, it's vocal arrangement, it's production, it's a catchiness to it as well. That's the difference. That's what makes it a classic. That's what defines timeless, in my opinion.
I mean, pretty much on the same train track there.
2 and the 5.
2 and the 5. But at, what is that? East 180th, we make the fucking split, bro. I'm Ken, you're Ryu. You know what I'm saying? My helicopter, a couple of hits to the face, you go down, one hit.
I did warn you about the geekiness, right? So yeah, video game innuendos. We got.
Then fuck it. Everybody's geeks, man. Anybody in our
Word.
age group know what I'm talking about right now,
Word.
man. Don't even.
Absolutely. But music is something that even if we weren't doing this, we would still be doing this on a Friday night by ourselves, like listening, studying. So like, why not, right? Why not give it back to the people, and why not share it with the people, get their feedback? If they're audio nerds like we are, they're certainly gonna love it. If you listening right now are of that breed, of that collection, it's certainly gonna resonate with you, right? No matter who you're listening to on Blatant Radio, you're gonna get something. You're gonna get something different. You're gonna get a refreshment of, that particular time in your life, I think. And when you go back and listen, like I said, when you go there underneath the live player, you're going to find, flyers of the upcoming shows. You're going to find previous shows that were done. You can go back and listen all the way from day one, from, 2020 when we went live. Even before then, the mixes that I was doing on that on that Fisher Price turntable I was talking about earlier, as raw and dirty and nasty as those mixes were, got no shame, man. That's when I was building my craft. Those are up there as well. So keep on the lookout for the collaborations. Again, if you go on BLTNRADIO.com and you see Black Rhino for the earlier days, that was Mr. Blue. And
still is. This guy, Black Rhino, is an interesting character. He lives on in the musical spirit, but you may hear him pop up when you play radio. Matter of fact, he'll be putting his horns through the walls pretty soon. All right? So trust on that. He's still in the building.
Word the big bird. All right. So, I mean, some announcements that are coming up, pretty much. Upcoming sets we got on the docket. All good things must come to an end, right? As they say. So, as such, there will be a hip-hop summary jams set by yours truly. This is actually 5.0. On Wednesday, September 15th. On Tuesday, September 21st, there's going to be a back-to-back house music set featuring DJ ENS and myself. Remember what I said before about them house sets? You definitely want to hear this one. And brace yourselves. Brace for impact. Hold on to your seats for Method Man and Redman musical tribute. That's right. Red and Meth. I'll give you gems on METHOD Wednesday, September 22nd, and Blue will give you Red Mania on Thursday, September 23rd. Tell a friend to tell a friend again and again. Inspired by Blue. He came up with the concept for Red Mania. I thought it was genius. The blue and the red, the whole color play on it. There's a fun flyer out there. We will be promoting it. That's going to be a dope night. Don't want to miss that.
And, it's going to be a whole lot of fun because Redman's one of those MCs that hold a high regard. So I have a lot of material from him that resonates with me. And I guess the struggle will be picking what I could fit into. I may go into overtime bonus play. I mean, you have to almost with a guy like this. So
Brick City.
Brick City. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Brick City. Shout out to Redman. And I think that it's good. I mean, Method Man and Redman, like that iconic duo, really did a lot for hip hop. So I think it's only apropos that we do these back-to-back sets. So I think you should definitely tune in because for all you fans of these MC artists from back then, they're definitely going to appreciate the music we're going to curate and get going next week. So I definitely encourage you and implore you to tune into Blatant Radio at these appointed times.
No pressure, but tune the fuck in.
Yeah.
Word up.
Polite, not polite. You know what I'm saying, man?
Word. Blue might actually have tissue paper up his nose during that whole set.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I'm a very quirky guy. It depends on what I'm feeling or what's in my system. You know what I'm saying, man?
Watch the muddy waters.
Only in your toilet bowl, buddy. After some Mexican.
Muddy water. Blue. Crazy, yo. All right, so now for the regularly scheduled program, right? So Blue Thursdays will now have a bi-weekly cadence. He's going to be doing it every 2 weeks to allow some of that time, to manifest, to slap you in your dome with that fresh batch of craziness, that moosh boosh, I think he calls it,
yeah,
audio.
Moosh boosh audio.
Yeah. You had to Google that one. And then DJ ENS, of course, that is short for Everyone Needs Sound, because everyone does, in fact, need sound. He will continue his onslaughts with his fantastic Galactic Music series, broadcasting live from his home studio, backed by his awe-inspiring visual setup. You'll definitely want to check that out. He does go on twitch.tv/Everyone Needs Sound, but we also host him here on Blatant Radio, so double dose, double batch of fun there. And of course, yours truly, Blatant, will continue to rock on Wednesdays as a part of the weekly music Eargasm. And we will soon be adding DJ Rich Towns to the lineup, who will appear on Saturday afternoons this coming fall, 2021.
And, you know, that should be a real treat. And then, of course, you have me, and you have DJ Black Rhino, who resurfaced out of the
Who's that guy?
Musical safari. He went on the musical sabbatical to kind of get his horn shined.
Pause.
You know what I'm saying? So it should be good. I think we have a musical festival for you. So I think that for the fall and for all seasons going forward, you're going to find that this is the place to be, definitely.
That rhymes. Word. So in closing, future podcasts, the cadences will be determined. We'll figure it out. I guarantee you it will be at least monthly. So definitely subscribe. Listen, subscribe to BLTNRADIO.com to stay in the loop of everything. You will certainly be notified on the fun flyers that I put together and I put out there. All the shows coming up. We will have merch. There will be T-shirts also being formulated as we speak. I'm just working with some print companies, and it's frustrating. For those of you who have been trying to do that for your own businesses, I'm dealing with some quirks and nuances, but we'll get there. So be on the lookout for merch. That will be coming out soon. Blatant Radio exists in multiple platforms. You can follow us. We will be on Instagram. We will be on Twitter. We are also on Facebook. I mean, just about anywhere. Anywhere that I don't know I could be on, please let me know. Send me a message. We're trying to get up on the universe. Put one of those stickers on a Martian car or something. You know what I mean?
We're trying to get it to the point where it's like the Batman insignia in the sky, or Blatant Radio, you know, put it in the sky. So y'all react to it like Thundercats, you know, Thundercats' eyes line up when like, thunder, da-da-da-da-da, Blatant Radio. Oh, gotta tune in, bitches.
So until next time, always remember to keep the mind open, spirit free, and ears waxed. Stay tuned, boppers.
Mr. Blue is my favorite. Nah, I'm kidding. Tune in to Blatant Radio, yo.
Tell your moms. Tell your mom's side piece. Let's get it. Peace.